It's a phone call about the Likee TV. So, no message and our channel is on what hit at the man subscribe. So, me drop in latest be our budget brain when you be 80. And I have Bora and cinema. Yes. And yeah, one of the Ora team, our Ora team, Martin Kpebu and Nede 84. Wa Expösé ex-president Kuffour pa. Once you were two minor pants, and what you say, well, you're corrupt pa. And then say, hey. Martin Kpebu ex-president Kuffour the enka share President Kuffour do na yi ankomu diskade was share papa no emumram gintie Martin Kpebu ye ba ensem bia ka bia no ye de emo ensem bebre
vote so that you will not have access to the 500 who are going to vote for the candidate, and that all 3,000 people in the constituency may come and vote. All 3,000 come and select 500 votes. If at the end of the day, the people who come select only 200 yes votes, they go and cast, and whoever wins takes the seat. You see, so that you don't have to buy out your candidature. I think we need to be ingenious in finding a solution like this. Once we have identified delegates, then the candidates will look for them and do the untoward. So I think that as a party, let's seriously consider these reforms within the party. And generally too, even as we progress through the party, we should also be rewarding competence and loyalty.
Competence and loyalty should be rewarded.
Competence and loyalty, rather than cronyism in the party. If I become leader of a party and I'm choosing people from my family alone, and trying to justify that as people who have gone to school here and there, you insult the sensibilities of those of us who didn't have probably juicy beginnings. And maybe, but I don't pay second fiddle to anybody in any institution that I've been part. So wherever you may have obtained your education doesn't, for me, doesn't really matter.
I see.
But how the education passed through you, and how education also made you a person, and how you position yourself to contribute to societal development. I think that is what is important. Not really who is your father or where did you go to school and the like.
So we saw a lot of that in this administration.
In the appointment.
In the appointment.
And again, let us not also personalize appointing systems, so that and the Kpebu becomes the person who is fishing out the persons for various positions. You see, probably any person of African descent can be despotic given the opportunities. And if we have a system that is not checking itself, then people will do things that may even hurt the collective whole.
Right.
So I believe that we should build consensus even as we try to find the competencies and the loyalties. Sometimes it's very helpful to find people you probably nurture into the party become leaders ahead of you. Sometimes it dampens your spirit, defeats your morale, and for that matter also affects your output. You see, and in most cases, people also come from nowhere into the party, and they are seen, because they have associated in the party, they are seen as leaders in the party. Leadership is not by appointment through association. Leadership is by commitment and participation in a process that you believe in, having been selected as having paid your due in the course of the process, and having built the necessary experience and competence, and having understood the philosophy behind the groupage, and also pursuing a national interest that is beneficial to all.
In fact, there's a lot more that I'll come to you for, and as I indicated, because your chairman talked about the Election Review Committee in starting off from a review of your party's constitution, which you have indicated is so flawed in selecting, and that's in the process of selection of the parliamentary candidates, party executives, flag bearer. Martin Kpebu, I'll bring you at this point. And then he talks about the competence, in his view, competence and loyalty should be rewarded instead of cronyism, patronage that we saw in the appointments in this administration, and then also personalized appointments and people coming from nowhere to take over the leadership of the MPP. That's from the horse's own mouth and the person who was within the party doing a diagnosis of the problems within the party. Quite a lot more I know he's going to talk about. But Kpebu, because they say they'll come to the public, actually, to seek your views about what led to their defeat.
Martin is a very competent member of the public.
But let me say this. There was a question some time ago that I wanted an answer to. Someone said you are a card-bearing member of the MPP. Lawyer Martin Kpebu.
Martin.
Yes, I used to be. Yes.
So you are now
but
your
he
member.
has shown his card.
Yes. Yes. I brought it during the election.
But he didn't show it.
Oh, no. Okay.
No.
On one of the...
show it.
So,
but
Kuffour's time.
2023, when was Saturday?
You were a card-bearing member of...
Yes, I have a card. Yes, it's in there.
You were...
From 98.
Have you been paying your dues?
Oh, so I stopped. So let me tell you the history. So 98, you know, that time, most of us, you know, in university, we didn't want to see the Rawlings regime and all those things, right? So I joined that. I wanted to be MPP. Then 2000.
Actually, 98, 99, 2000, it was an offense to belong to the NDC.
Exactly.
When we were in school.
Yeah,
so I lost the election in Kpebu.
Is that a presumption that you are also a
president?
Yes,
it was an offense.
So,
those days.
Does it hold by presumption that you are...
I'll bring my card. I'll bring my card next
Next week.
I'll bring the card.
I want to come and show us
I'll bring. Oh, it's in the car. When I get a short break now, when we are closing at 11, I'll go and bring it before we close so that next week can
your party membership.
But let me end this way too. Just two statements on it. So do you know what happened? I thank God for this wisdom, man. So after we voted for Kuffour, then Charlie up and I came in, Kuffour started spending the money. I was like, but what is different from what prevailed before? So I was like, we voted for Kuffour. We're told that, Kuffour was a successful lawyer. He was rich, etc. So that meant there will be no corruption. But in no time, we saw that Kuffour himself was corrupt. So that was it. So in 2004, I didn't vote for him again. There's nobody I've voted for twice as a presidential candidate. The one I would have voted for twice is Atta Mills, but we all know that he died, right? So that's been my history with the MPP. Okay. So by, let's say, latest 2002, I'd stopped because I didn't vote for Kuffour in 2004. By 2000, in the year 2000, I voted for him. I was a member. We were proud. You know, we're like, Rawlings is...
2016.
Oh, and then 2016, openly, I voted for Kuffour, supported him because they said he had been prepared for what? 40 years. So I keep saying that, can you imagine how Kuffour would have
40 years development plan.
Exactly. If he had prepared for only 10 years. No, let's repeat this.
Yes.
The story was that Kuffour had been prepared from birth to be president.
40 years.
40 years. What would have been the performance if he had prepared for only 10 years? I'm sure Ghana would have ceased to exist. I mean, look at the greed. 73, you come in at age 73 and you are so greedy, greedier than even your mama who is not a lawyer. Because you see, I look at the income. And you know, by 2016, I had worked as a lawyer for 9 years. So I saw the little I had gathered in life. And I said, if me, I'm first in my family as a lawyer, I could earn, I'd built a house, living in it, etc. And then this man is said to be about 30 years even ahead of me, and he came from a very privileged background. So straight away, I knew that, the things they say about Kuffour must be true. This man is incorruptible. Not knowing he was a real epitome of corruption, You know, that mother serpent of corruption. I'm sure we've all seen it. The record is there.
Are you referring to what Martin Amidu said?
Yes, Martin Amidu said it's mother serpent of corruption. And look, I don't doubt him. So I can't say, wait. Now that Kuffour is going, you wait. You see more of the stories.
You are moral.
Yeah, more of the... we are hearing more. You see more. Kuffour, champion general of corruption. Professor Jimabwedi said it. That Kuffour's record of corruption is that test. And you know Jimabwedi, this is founder of CDD, right? Co-founder. So, look, we made a mistake. We hope it never happens again. I remember Afuku said it in 2016. You know, those days I represented Afuku. He said, look, Martin, Kuffour is worse than the devil. Oh, by that time, you know, because we're angry with JM.
Paula Foko said.
Yeah, Paula Foko said it. I was representing him. I was representing with Dr. Atupari. Then later we brought on Osafo Boabi. But throughout the disciplinary hearings in the party headquarters, yeah, it was myself and Dr. Atupari. So, but you know, I mean, Kuffour is a lawyer, etc. So when you look at the credentials and you look at JM, I mean, being a lawyer, I had my biases for Kuffour. That is a lawyer. As I said, I was projecting my own life on the Kuffour too, because I was like, but I've worked 9 years as a private lawyer. I'm not doing government work. I don't need to see anybody. I don't need to go and see anybody and beg anything. People just see you in court and they say, oh, will you take my case on? Or some people see you, etc. So I just thought that's the same thing the Kuffour is built for 40 years. I didn't know it was a pack of lies. But, well, we've paid dearly. I can't just say let's move on. We are going to hold him accountable. That one, very, very sure.
Yes, because I've continuously indicated that whenever you talk about the fact that President Kuffour is corrupt, it must go beyond just what you say.
Excellent.
And prove beyond reasonable doubt that he's corrupt.
Excellent.
And so, because you're going to be consistently on this show, you say that you're going to start cases against him when he is out of office.
Yeah, yes, and I still stand by it.
And he's just about some 10 days away from becoming an ex-president.
Yes.
I would hold your feet to the fire.
Yes, we're going to do a petition based on the work Manasseh did on the fumigation. You know, after COVID, schools had been locked for months, no activity. Yet Kuffour insisted on fumigation. That was not scientifically backed. And by the time they were done, they had spent over 500 million Ghana. It was needless. Of course, it's because of what he was benefiting, right? So, and Manasseh did investigations into that fumigation contract. He did it with, Kuffour did it with Zoom Lion, right? And it turned out, look, the assembly said they didn't need that fumigation. Then, but Kuffour insisted. Then later they said, okay, then give us the chemicals. We'll be able to do it ourselves. Kuffour said no. He insisted, railroaded, his contract into it. And obviously showing signs that he benefited. So that would be the #1 case against him. That this is it. This is a president that the assemblies were clear. It's a documentary, and please, viewers, for the avoidance of doubt, Manasseh won African Journalist and the West African Journalist Awards with that documentary. So something that has been peer-reviewed outside Ghana, etc., and they saw merits in it. I think that we too, we should let the courts look at it. That what Kuffour did, this over 500 million Ghana, needless fumigation, should we allow that to continue? Then you also know the other matters of the PDS, etc., right? Okay. So things that Gabi or Chiridako Kuffour's this cousin is in, right? The influence Baumier's hands are also in the PDS matter. Those things, yeah. So these are things that we'll have to ask them to come and account. We can't continue to be that timid. No. We have to stand up and fight. If we don't do that to the politicians, they will always say that, oh, Ghana, talk. This is no action, talk only. No, okay. It's not going to happen. You know, there are 2 cases already in court. I'm challenging the Cicely Adapa matter. Iyoko saying that they don't find anything. When the basic thing, our training as lawyers, when it comes to money laundering, they'll tell you that the moment you see money beyond somebody's income, you are in the direction of, yes.
Unexplained wealth.
Exactly, you are in the direction of money laundering. And we'll beg GM, maybe this honorable, maybe they'll make you attorney general or something. If not, we will be begging GM, we beg that Lord, unexplained wealth, try and give us. He himself has promised that there will be a robust code of conduct.
There's
for
a
public.
provision of that in the OSP law, but we intend to bring a substantive
to make it more clearer, etc. Right, so that the lifestyle audits can be done, and then especially the recovery of the money through civil lawsuits. Because I can see people are telling us a lot of people want to return the money. They don't want prosecutions. So look into that. Yes.
Right.
Sometimes
there's a whole provision on the OSP law that gives that regime.
Right.
Yes.
They should bring the money. You can return the money by way of litigation.
And also you can come by a civil action.
There's some breaking news. There's some breaking news I need to put out right now. Let's go straight to the Electoral Commission office. Do you understand there's some confusion there right now?
a bit of misunderstanding at this particular point in time, but it does appear that Tempest, they always find a way to calm themselves out, and that's what's just happened. And so, just by way of what's been happening here right now, Dr. Kweku was making the point that there was left with 3 polling stations to be dealt with. The NEC said no. Coalition was done, results were declared, and so they do not expect anything to happen. But it looks like the NPP's candidate Michael Kwe is speaking now, try and get an understanding really as to what really is expected to happen. He is reiterating the court's order when the NPP filed that mandamus. But I mean, there's been subsequent Supreme Court hearing in relation to that. And so he's reiterating the points where they went to court. Unfortunately, we cannot get any close to be able to bring you the details of it. But Dom Kwabenya is one of the many out.
Edamase so Samuel Brani Bo Daily Update TV so.